And welcome once again to the Pet Show. Did your pug pee on your Christmas tree? Are your felines celebrating Festivus? Is your chihuahua snacking on Santa's cookies? Well, if you love your dogs and cats, I'm assuming you do, and really want to understand their behavior almost as well as they understand yours, or maybe you're confused about why your dog or cat behaves a certain way. Well, you know what to do, right? Stay tuned, because once again, right here, right now, it is time for the Pet Show. That's right, America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, and of course, pet lifestyle show. So hop up on my couch. Bring those furry little buddies with you, folks. It is that time once again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hello, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is the Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never a doubt about it, love, adore, and as I stress every single week, respect pets and animals as much as you do. Before I get into what we're going to talk about on today's show, and we want to resolve all your issues, jumping, humping, digging, scratching, excessive barking, maybe not getting along with your guests, not responding to you when you call them. We'll get into all of that. But it's interesting. I was looking at my calendar today, and this is the 45th Christmas I've spent on the radio with my audience. Never taken off a Christmas, never taken off New Year's. This is the 45th Christmas I spent with. Some of you guys probably have been with me the whole time. I don't know, but 45 years, and you know what? I wouldn't have had it any different. A great time to give me a call. It's Christmas. I'm in a giveaway mood. I got some great stuff to give away on this show today. I'll be giving away some of the brand new Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. I'll be giving away some calming discs, the Hugs and Kisses, Lucy Pet Food, doggy lickies. Lots of great stuff to give away. So everyone that calls in will get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. And we are back on YouTube. If you want to see the face, I don't know why I got a lousy haircut this week, but if you want to see the face behind the microphone, check out youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. That's youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. As I said, plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. The number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I'm looking at my hair, and if you're watching me on YouTube, it's kind of curling up a little bit on this. I look like, anyone remember the Little Rascals Alfalfa? Well, that's kind of what my hair looks like here on the show. Anyway, Merry Christmas. A busy show today. Plenty of time to answer all your calls. I know it's tough to get through to the Pet Show sometimes, but it's a great time to give me a call. People are out there shopping. I'm sure I'll have a line or two open. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Also, later on today's show, I'll be doing something I've been doing. I think I've been doing it for almost 45 years, every week before the Christmas holiday. A great poem. I have it on my website, thepetshow.com, under my Christmas corner. It's called Christmas Returns. I share it every year. It's just one of my favorite poems. A little sad, but we'll talk about that later. But let me tell you now what I plan on talking about on today's show. Besides my haircut. Number one, just the other day, I'm out in my yard here in beautiful Arizona, where we don't do daylight saving time, so I never know if it's afternoon or morning. Guy's walking behind me on a trail, and he's yelling to his dog, "Come, come, come." It's like the dog needs a hearing aid. He didn't hear a word the guy said, and the guy kept calling, "Come, come, come." So we're going to talk about that today. Is calling your dog to come like talking to the wind? Why do so many people have a problem calling their dogs? You know what? It's probably, well, more than probably, it's your fault. You made the word "come" into a bad word for your dogs, and I'll explain that coming up. Yeah, that's right. You did it. A lot of people, they don't understand. They use the word "come" and their dog thinks it's not good, it's bad, and that's why he's not coming. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. So if you have a dog that says you're talking to me when you call him, we'll resolve that for you. Also coming up on today's show, staring at people is considered really, really rude in the human world, your world and my world, but not so in the world of your feline, not so in the world of your cats. So why do your cats stare at you? Why do your cats stare at you? What does it mean? And what messages are they trying to get across? When we stare at each other, it's not too cool, but when our cat stares at us, it means a whole different thing. So we'll take a look at that. Also, I don't know what to make of this. Anyone who knows me knows that there's a sign on my desk that says if it doesn't pee, I don't deal with it. Because I am the most untechnological person in the world, okay? Really. I'm still on AOL. That ought to tell you something. All right, bottom line is, I got an email this week. We hear a lot about AI, a lot about bots. I don't even know what bot stands for, but AI and bots, how it is now being used to help people train their dogs and understand their cats. But is using AI to understand your pets a good or a bad idea? I know you're all thinking I think it's a bad idea. Maybe not so fast. We'll talk about that coming up a little bit later. Also, something from my heart to yours, the do's and don'ts of training your dogs and understanding the behavior. As always, plenty of time to answer all your questions and comments. Lots of great stuff to give away. So if you have your dog or cat in there, they're jumping or humping or chewing or scratching the furniture, or the cat's not using a litter box, that rescue dog isn't housebroken, don't get angry. Just give me a call. I'll help you resolve those issues. Plenty of time for your calls. As I said, lots of great stuff to give away. Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I couldn't think of a great question for the day, so I came up with this. What do you think? Does your dog or cat open their own gifts? When I put my gifts under the tree, I always enjoy watching my pets all these years opening their own gifts. And they know exactly which one's theirs. Maybe it's the way I write their name on it, but they know which one's theirs. So do your pets enjoy opening, your dog and cat enjoy opening their own gifts in the morning? We'll take a look at that. Also, I'll give you some safety tips for the holidays. A lot of veterinarians contact me over the holidays. Warren, talk about this, because we are inundated with dogs and cats getting into physiological problems because of the holidays. So I just had someone call me the other day. Their dog ate one of the what do you call them? The thing from a Christmas tree, the things that come off, I don't know, I can't think of the name of it. But anyways, things that come off a Christmas tree, he swallowed one of those and they got stuck in, and that could be dangerous as well. So we'll talk about the dangers as well. Plenty of time for your calls. I'd like to hear from you too. What are you getting your dogs and cats for the holidays? Listen, you love your husband, you love your wife. I know you do. You love your kids, you love your grandparents, you love your aunts, you love the uncles. But not the same way you love your dogs and cats. That's a totally non-demanding relationship. They do nothing but make you smile and make you happy. I'd like to hear some interesting gifts that you may be getting for your dogs and cats for the holidays. Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. We're going to get to you, Allan. We're going to get to you, George. We're going to get to you, Michelle. We're going to get to all your calls, I promise. So I'm sitting here in Arizona. I've been where, about 8 months now since I left L.A.? And I'm a New Yorker. You never know by my accent because I lost that years ago. But I'm from New York, Long Island to be exact. And I used to shovel snow, which they're getting on Long Island right now, in flip-flops. Now, when it goes below 80 degrees, I'm looking for a down jacket. But I'm sitting in Arizona right now, and I guess it's going to be 80 degrees today, and it's warm. It's warm. I need some snow. I need some cold weather. I need a little bit of the East. I love the West Coast. I love living in California for 30 years. I love living in Arizona, but I need a little bit of Long Island. A little bit of Long Island. Some of that cold wind coming off the Atlantic Ocean and the Great South Bay, and that's what I need. Some Long Island today. So if there's any Long Islanders out there, give me a call. I want to hear at least your voice. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let me get right to the busy phone lines right now. Let's go to Allan in Canoga Park. Hi, Allan. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Warren. Happy Hanukkah. Warren, my cat, my female cat, just about 9 months old, had her period, and then shortly thereafter, she started peeing on my bed.
Why wasn't she spayed?
Oh, we're waiting. We're going to do that next week.
Okay, well that's going to help. That's going to help an awful lot. When you have a kitten that's going through their season, very often they don't know what's happening. They're confused. It's new to them, and so it's not unusual for a cat to be going through this and to start urinating in other areas. You know, a lot of maternal instincts come out. They want to leave their scent around so the male cat can find them and they can breed, which we don't want them to do. That's why I'm recommending spaying. But it's not unusual for a female cat or even a young female dog that's going through their first heat to start having accidents in the house. First of all, it's a strange feeling for them, and second of all, it's a territorial thing, marking the territory instinctively from a breeding purpose, and that's why.
But she doesn't do it to my daughter's bed.
That's okay, but who's she closer to?
Well, both of us actually.
Well, who spends more? Who feeds her?
Well, we both feed her, but I'm with her most of the day.
All right, so that's my point. So yeah, you just tell your daughter she's lucky to put her head on the pillow and have a dry sleep. But that's why she's doing it. Now, I guess your next question to me is, hey, Warren, what can I do to stop this behavior? You're not going to find this answer anywhere else. Here's what I want you to do. Number one, what I want you to do is make sure you thoroughly clean up the bed where the cat went. Then what I want you to do is spend more time in those areas with the cat, playing with the cat, giving her a massage in those areas, a good rub down, whatever you have to do. Also, take some of her food, put it in a little plate if you want. You can just put it directly on the bed in that area. And for the next couple of weeks, because she's not spayed yet, just watch her carefully, not giving her that opportunity. This is not a cat problem. This is an Allan problem. But that's very, very common for an unspayed cat or an unspayed dog.
So she's not going to see where she eats. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
got it.
Most of the time,
Right.
I've come across a few cats that didn't do that, but most of the time that's what they're doing. So yeah, I think it'll make all the difference in the world. Plus the fact that she's going through a little bit confusion now. You know, she's hitting that age right now where she's getting a little bit confused. So let me do this, Allan. I want you to follow through on what I just suggested to you, but at the same time, let me do this. I'm going to put you on hold, and I am going to send you for your cat. I'm in kind of a giveaway mood. I don't know what I want to send you. I am going to send you. I'm going to send you some all-natural herbal flea spray. All-natural herbal flea spray on its way to you. By the way, in the next couple of month or two, I'm going to be doing a lot more interesting things I'll be giving away on the show as well. We'll talk about that in the future. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Let me take a quick break. When we come back, we'll go to George in Lomita, has a Shiba Inu. We have Michelle in Whittier, who rescued a dog. Bless you, Michelle. We'll help you out. And we have a rock-eating dog. I can't pronounce this town. La Crescenta, whatever it is. Anyway, Regina will get to your call as well. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Listen, you love your ever. I'm not training anymore, but when I would go into a home, I would spend time with the entire family because that's the only way a behavior store trainer can really get their finger, the pulse of exactly what's causing the behavior in the dog or the cat, is to really spend time with the family, because it's very, very rare that the dog or cat decided to do something on their own. It's usually a situation created by those of us that indeed walk upright. 866-870-KRLA. Let's go to George in Lomita and find out about his Japanese Shiba Inu. Hey, George, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. I got Shiba Inu named Suki. She's 8 years old. And most every evening, we'll usually about 9 o'clock, a little before bedtime, she'll come running down the hallway. We're wondering, well, where's she at? She comes running down the hallway from the bedroom. And when we go take a look, she's pulled the bedspreads, blankets, and sheets down on the bed. She's been doing it for years, and I don't, correct her unless I catch her in the act, and I just tell her not to. But she's been doing it for years. I was just wondering if you thought there might be any particular reason she would do that.
Now, these sheets and the covers, on what bed are they on? Are they in your bed directly?
Yeah, it's on our bed in the master bedroom. And,
it's not.
She's allowed to sleep on there during the day. We have an extra, blanket on top.
Oh, but you don't let her sleep there at night. She's only allowed to be on the bed during the day.
Yeah, she sleeps in her crate at night.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. But anyway, let me ask you a question. What time of day is she pulling the covers off the bed?
It's usually about 9:30 in the evening.
So it's at night when she doesn't sleep in the bed. So she's pulling the covers off the bed when she's not in the bed with you.
Yeah, she doesn't pull them all the way off, but she pulls them down. It's almost
but that's why she's doing it. Yeah, in other words, you've told her all day long you can hang out here. Then all of a sudden at night you're telling her you can't hang out there. And I think that's probably why she's doing it. Now, can you resolve it? Yeah, you can resolve it, but why? Why? Mm-hmm. Why is she sleeping? Why is she sleeping in a crate at night? Why isn't she sleeping in bed with you at night? Is it to keep you awake?
She likes it. We just cover her with a blanket, and it's kind of like a little cave.
Have you ever put her in the bed at night and let her make the choice?
No, there wouldn't be really room for her also. But
well, that's okay. If you don't want her in the bed, that's okay. The point I'm trying to get across, though, is if the dog had a choice, or if I had a choice between sleeping in a crate or sleeping in a nice, comfortable bed with pillows and covers I spent all day with, I'm hanging out in the bed. It's just the way it is. So, yeah, it's a great question. But in terms of why she's doing it, she's gathering. Dogs can be gatherers, and she's gathering the scent of the bed she sleeps in. As long as it's not bothering you that much, I would say leave it alone. Because if you try to resolve certain problems, you create other ones. I would leave it alone. What's your dog? Suki. Yeah. How old is Suki?
Okay.
How old is
she's
Suki?
8 years old. Can I ask one other quick question?
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, last week, or about a week or two back, she was, I can't, in the morning, early morning, I brought in a ladder to do some cleaning in the house.
Yeah.
And I didn't think much of it. And then Suki got up and we got started in the house. But then she was refusing to eat, and she loves to eat. And I was really worried. I called a friend of ours, a retired vet. She said, get her to the vet right away. Maybe she swallowed something or whatever, because she's a super good eater. And then my wife said, well, I think she's just scared of the ladder. And so I said, okay, well, let me try putting it out to the garage. I did that, and then after that, she was eating okay. And do you think the ladder would have?
No doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. No, there's no doubt in my mind. Dogs like certain people like me. I was a dog in my last life, okay? I'm a creature of habit. I don't like changes. I don't do well with changes. And when something new comes into the house, even when my wife Denise brings a new plant into the house, or something new into the house, she says, "What's the matter?" I said, "Well, it takes me a while to get adjusted to it. It takes me a little bit." And so that's it. Yeah, and especially with a dog, sometimes, for example, I'll give you a prime example. Ladder. Let's talk ladders for a second, okay? I have a clock above my kitchen sink, okay? And it's been on the wrong time for a month now. So I brought in a kind of large step stool the other day to go up there and change the time, so I have some idea what time it is between daylight and non-daylight. I have no idea what time it is. Anyway, the bottom line is this. I got up on the ladder. Willie, my little Willie, nothing scares Willie, but Molly, on the other hand, is very sensitive. She looked at the ladder, turned around, went back into the bedroom, jumped on the bed, and was a little bit freaked out till the ladder went out of the house. So yeah, anytime you're going to make changes, it's always a good idea to introduce it to your dog gradually, a little bit at a time. That can make a big difference for you.
Okay. Well, I appreciate.
Great call. George. Great call.
Feedback.
I can tell from your voice how much you love Suki. I mean, I can just feel it.
She's
Yeah.
well loved, and not just by us, but I mean, the whole community. My wife. Every year.
So let me ask you a question. Do you ever sing that song Sukiyaki to her?
No.
You should.
No,
Come on now. You got to start saying. Anyway, don't.
Well, I have to learn it, but everybody in the neighborhood knows her name, and a few of them know mine and my wife's.
That's like me. I don't know anyone in my neighborhood, but I can tell you every dog.
Yeah.
Anyway, George, let me move on. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you. You know what I'm going to send you for Suki? I'm going to send you. This is something new I'm giving away, but it's absolutely fabulous. You just add some to the water, makes the dog even more kissable. It's a dental rinse. It's called Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. It's available on Amazon. No brushing. You just put this in their water. Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. Check it out at Amazon, but I'm going to send you some to get you started, and I do appreciate that phone call. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through to the show. You know what, Michelle, I want to take you next, but I want to just hold you, because I got to take a break for the bottom of the hour, and I want to get to Michelle, Regina, Tammy. I want to get to Wendy. Have one line open, 866-870-KRLA. Does your dog or cat open their own gift under the tree? Give me a call. I do have some great stuff to give away on today's show. I got doggy lickies to give away, hugs and kisses to give away, Lucy pet food. You just heard me give away some puppy fresh breath. I got hair horns, T-shirts, natural herbal face spray, and those calming. I just got an email this week. I just started giving away these calming discs from a company called Acorn, and I got an email this week from a listener I gave it to saying, "What a difference, Warren, it made in our cat." Unbelievable. The cat was freaking out over everything. I put this calming disc in the car, and what a difference it made. So check that out. It's a great calming disc. It's made by Acorn Pet Products. Check out their website. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Every single phone line is jam-packed. You guys are going to make me earn my bucks today. So let me take a quick break here, then right back to your phone calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to The Pet Show. Merry Christmas from here at the Pet Show. Great time to give me a call. The phone number 866-870-KRLA. I'm going to go to Michelle next. Then we have Regina, Tammy, Wendy, and Courtney. I'm going to get to all your calls if I have to blow all my topics. You know, I've been known to do that before. But right now, let's go to my friend. Michelle in Whittier. Hi, Michelle. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. We just adopted our new fur baby into our home.
Well, bless you for doing that. I love you already. Thank you. What kind of puppy did you get? Or older dog?
So she's a full-grown dog. She's a Cane Corso.
Cane Corso. Yeah, great dog. Yeah, have you had big dogs before?
Yes. Our previous dog that passed away in I believe June. He was also a Cane Corso.
Okay, so this is the type of breed that's an incredible dog, but I would recommend that the people have experience with large dogs when they take a dog like a Cane Corso.
Yes. So we think that our dog, she's a female dog. Her name is Bella. We think that maybe the previous owner bred her and then dumped her.
Oh man.
So she's a little underweight right now. So my question is, what's a healthy way to maybe gain her some weight?
Well, there's a couple of things that you can do. Number one is, how often do you feed her?
So we're feeding her twice a day.
Okay, that's good. And how long have you had her?
We've only had her for a day.
Let's put on the weight gradually, okay? But what I'd like to do is, first of all, bless you again for taking this dog in. I love people adopting adult dogs, and this is a breed of dog that probably would have had a tough time finding another home, and that's why I thank you so much. So what I would do is, I want to make sure the dog is getting the best nutrition. I want to make sure the dog is getting everything they need for digestion. So I am going to do this. I'm going to send you some Lucy pet food. Let me just give you a couple of reasons why I'm going to send you Lucy pet food. Number one, it has not only a probiotic, but it has prebiotics as well. And the prebiotics really make the probiotics work even better. It's actually food for the probiotics. Nutritionally, I'm telling you, I've been recommending Lucy pet food now for 6 years, and I got to tell you, I've gotten nothing but incredibly positive responses from everyone I recommended it to, including myself, because that's what my dog. So what I would do is, I'm going to send you the Lucy pet food, and what I'd like to do is stick with the 2 feedings a day. Don't overfeed her. Let her eat a little bit at a time. Let's put on the weight gradually. That's the safest way to do that. And I think you'll be absolutely fine. We got to give her some time. And also, is she eating okay now?
Yes, she's eating good.
Okay, yeah, because sometimes when they've not had that type of food, they're a little bit more difficult to get to eat. Yeah, but let's get her on the Lucy pet food. I think it's going to make all the difference in the world for you. How's that sound, Michelle?
That sounds great.
Tell me how you feel when you go to a shelter, you see a dog like this that probably never had a shot with anybody else, and you come in, Michelle, and you decide, you know what? I'm going to give this dog the life it really deserves. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel great, but the real present is just the dog. She's the sweetest girl, and it feels amazing. I wish I can take them all home.
You and me both. That was my wish for Christmas this year, is that Santa would just find a home for every dog in every shelter and every cat in every shelter. Anyway, Michelle, great call, by the way. By the way, you know what? Are you going to buy him a Christmas present?
Yes, we are.
Okay, good. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold, and we're going to send you some Lucy Pet Formers for Life pet food for your dog. And I really do appreciate that phone call. I really appreciate you adopting that dog. Let me see who's been holding on. I'm going to take you guys in orders. Let me see who's been holding on the longest here. Oh, we're going to go. Let's go to Wendy first in Duarte. Hey, Wendy, welcome to the Pet Show.
Thanks for taking my call.
It's my pleasure. Well, you're the second cat peeing on the bed call I had today. What is with you guys?
I know. That's why I heard that. I'm like, I'm going to call. I have time. I'm not like with my family right now. My son didn't swim today, so I have time to listen to your show and talk. So, yeah.
So tell me about your cat. How old is your cat?
Oh, she's about 4 years. I rescued her when I think she was 6 months old. That's my vet was estimating. And I had her spayed, but unfortunately she wasn't spayed before I got her. So at first I thought, oh, she's in heat. Maybe that's what happened, but nope. And then my vet had a feeling, too, that it wasn't because she was in heat. So, and I already ruled out urinary issues. I had a cat in the past who had crystals, but that was a male cat. So she drinks water well. So there's no way she has the issues with crystals and that kind of thing. But so it's some kind of behavior thing. I had her on that special medicine because of the B. I forget what it was called. Yeah, but anyway, but that didn't work. I think it began with a B. I don't know. Anyway, I had a feeling it wasn't working. My vet agreed. Doesn't necessarily do anything. I talked to some other person before about behavior issues, and some vet specialized in that, and she was saying, just watch when she does it, and it didn't seem like it had anything to do with what was going on in the house. Sometimes I thought it was due to stress, because I know she's my cat. I take care of her, so if I'm under stress, I was thinking maybe that's why she peed on the couch when my husband just sat. But she's also peed other times, but there was no stress involved, and usually she focuses on my son's bed. So I'm trying to keep her out of the bedrooms. And I was looking online, and someone else said they had a cat who had issues where the cat always wanted to pee on something that had their scent on it.
Yeah, let me stop you for a second, okay? I know you spoke to a veterinary behaviorist that told you to watch the cat, and when the cat pees, tell her no. That's not going to resolve the issue. In order to resolve an issue like this, you have to figure out why the cat is doing it. Now, you've had the cat for how many years? How long have you had the cat?
Not I got it during COVID, so it's 4 years. I think 4 years since.
And how long has this been going on since day one?
Yeah, so as long as she's out of the bedroom, it seems like she does okay, but then all of a sudden, it happened because she.
Okay, but listen to me. Locking her out of your son's bedroom is not the resolution to the problem, okay? Stopping her from peeing on your son's bed, that's the resolution to the problem. Couple of things you need to do. Number one, the minute you lock her out of the room, you cause more of a problem than you're resolving, because once you close that door, it's like, I want that even more. So what I would be recommending you do is having your son and yourself spend more time playing with the cat in your son's bed. That's where I want you to play.
That's what I was thinking too, but he's always so busy. It's like he has swimming, he's on a swim team.
I can't train, listen, Wendy, I can't train your son. I can only train your cat, okay? I can't deal with your son and all his sports things, but if you want your cat to stop peeing, that I can help you with. The resolution to that is simple. More time on your son's bed, playing with the cat, giving the cat its treats, giving the cat a little bit of its food. The more time you spend in the bed with the cat, the less apt the cat's going to want to be there. The cat's never peed on her own bed, right? The cat's never peed near her own food dish, right?
I think she may have peed in the bed a long time ago once.
All right, well, let's not go back. Anyway, that's what you need to do. That's where you need to be at this point. If that's the resolution to your problem, follow my advice, and I'm sure it's going to work. Anyway, don't go in there. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm sending you a copy. Boy, Wendy must be from New York. She speaks faster than I do. But see, that's the situation. And that, I'm going to talk about AI later. There's some really great advice out there. But for someone to recommend, if you have a cat that's peeing on the bed, just close the door, how is that a resolution? How is that resolving a problem? Or try to catch the cat in the act. If you catch the cat in the act, he's not going to pee, right? That's not going to result. Why is the cat peeing? That's the difference between behavior. That makes all the difference in the world. That's what I've been doing my entire career, is not just resolving an issue, but figuring out why is that issue there to begin with. If you understand the issue, then it makes it a whole lot easier to resolve. And sometimes we take advice from people, and no one has more respect for veterinarians than I do. I work with them every single day. But very often, when you get advice like that, you want to question a little bit. In other words, avoiding a problem is never a way of resolving a problem. Giving a dog or a cat attention for doing something wrong is reinforcing it. Dogs and cats both react to attention. They could care less if it's positive attention. They can care less if it's negative attention. For example, the cat pees on the bed. The vet says, go in there, yell at the cat, say, bad cat, fooey, what did you do? The cat's still getting attention for that, not stopping the problem. Stopping the problem is why it's there in the first place. Hey, the phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Take a break. When we come back, Regina, we're going to get to your call, and we go to Tammy. Then we have Courtney. Then we have Sue. Then we have Wendy. I got one line open, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Hey, just before I go to the break, I was going to talk about AI and bots a little bit later. But here's a list. Here's a list of things that came out on AI, and some of it's not bad. Use positive reinforcement when you're training your dog. Be consistent and patient when you're training. Use short training sessions. I agree with all of that. Begin with basic commands. I agree with all of that. Get professional help if you need it. I agree with that. But, they got this as well. This is right off of AI. Use positive punishment. What is positive punishment? Will somebody please tell me what positive punishment is? give me a call. Let me know. 866-870-KRLA. A quick break, then back to all your calls. 866-870-KRLA. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to The Pet Show. But let me tell you a little bit, my friends. You just heard me give away some on this weekend before Christmas. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. We're going to get to Regina, Tammy, Sue, and Courtney in just a second. Later on today's show, I'll be reading the poem I've been reading every year, God, for how many years, called Christmas Returns. I got lots of great stuff to give away, plenty of time for your calls, and we're going to talk a lot about stuff. We're going to, why did your cat stare at you? Is it okay? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? We'll talk about that as well. And the do's and don'ts about training and behavior, which I'm going to go into a little bit more detail if I can. But thank the person who just texted me and said to me, Warren, every week I look at those papers behind you on your bookcase back there. What are they? What are those things back there? Well, let me just go over quickly. There's a couple. There's more outside, but there's one of my most prized possessions. There's a letter there thanking me from the Department of Homeland Security. The one in the middle is from President Gerald Ford. I helped out. And the one on the end is from the New York City Police Department. And the one just below that is the Women's Choice Awards, which I helped them with many, many years ago. So I'm really proud of those, and that's why they're always there. I took the books down and put the awards up. It makes me feel like I did something with my life. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Got a line open right now if you want to give me a call. But right now, let's go to Regina. Hey, Regina, welcome to the Pet Show.
Warren, I appreciate it. It's not my dog, but it's my very dear friend's dog. They just rescued a dog from Pasadena Humane, a black lab who's about 1 year old. It's a male, and he's neutered. And they have a beautiful yard that they let him in and out of from the house. It's a very active house, by the way. And he one day woke up and was not eating. They rushed him to ASG, which is the Animal Specialty Group. And he had been eating rocks. And I'm wondering, is there a way? There's got to be a way of training, about that. But,
well, again, before the training. Again, before the training, Regina, let's get to the why, okay? They rescued a dog from Pasadena. Thank them for doing it. How long ago?
It's been about maybe 5 weeks now, and the dog's a year old.
So the dog's going through a lot of changes. I don't know what the dog's previous life was like. I don't know if he had a lot of toys to play with. He was just put in the backyard and learned to play with rocks. A lot of dogs do that. But generally speaking, when you have a dog that's eating rocks, there's a couple of reasons for it. It could be boredom, could be lack of mental stimulation, could be anxiety, could be attention-seeking behavior, could be tooth and gum problems as well, or even a medical condition. So he went to the vet, so I'm sure that's okay. So it sounds to me like the dog's only been with them a short period of time. It's probably a combination of anxiety, a combination of stress, a combination of attention getting. So there's a lot, and boredom as well. So what I would try to do is give the dog as much stimulation as possible. But here's how I generally resolve this issue. If the dog is generally going in the backyard, I would find maybe one or two toys or items that the dog absolutely adores. Then I would get a half a dozen of them. And what I would do is I would put 6 out in the backyard. Just spread them all over the place. So when he goes out in the backyard, he's looking for these rather than rocks. And then after a couple of days, put some new ones out. Leave those down for a day or two. Then bring those in and put the old ones back. Just rotate them on a regular basis. Very often, it sounds to me, I don't know why the dog was turned in, but maybe he wasn't getting anything to play with. Maybe he only learned to play with rocks. And maybe over the years, I've had to take a lot of dogs, and cats for that matter, and teach them how to play with toys. They never had that opportunity before. So I don't know if that's the situation here, but again, the resolution to this situation, from what you're telling me, it sounds to me it's boredom, it's anxiety. Well, maybe not boredom, anxiety and stress related, and dogs don't always deal well with changes. This dog's going to turn out to be the greatest dog they ever had. Once he realizes what an incredible life he has, the love he's getting, he's going to be great. But right now, what he needs to understand is, number one, that there's other things out there besides rocks to play with that are a lot more interesting and a lot more fun. So rotating them and actually going out there and teasing him a little bit with the toys is really a good way to get him started.
Yeah, they have a lot of toys in the house. So
listen, unless they have rocks all over the house, the dog's getting the rocks outside, right? So let's focus on the toys in the house are great, but let's get those special toys for outside. Rotate them. It's going to make all the difference in the world for you. And bless them for taking in this dog. I really admire my listeners. You guys have adopted more dogs and cats than I can.
They didn't have a good background from Pasadena. A lot of times the dogs that are turned in, and he was just recently turned in, within a day or so before they adopted him.
Just before
and they didn't have a background on him.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well,
he's very lovable. He's very friendly. He's a 1-year-old lab, so he's exuberant.
Can I tell you guys a secret?
Sure.
For years when I was living on the East Coast, I was working with God knows how many dozens of shelters up and down the East Coast. And when I came into a situation like this, there were trainers and some behaviorists, and I always would sit down and figure out what caused the problem, why is the problem there, and what's the best way to resolve it. And you really need to take that time. And I would spend hours and hours sometimes just watching a dog's behavior. And I know not everyone has the time now, but watching a dog's behavior or trying to analyze behavior and set up a program specifically to resolve that. And I'm not bragging here. Believe me, I'm not bragging. But the bottom line is, over the years, I've worked with probably thousands of dogs that would have had no shot of a permanent home other than the fact that someone took the time to understand why their behavior was that way, why they were in the shelter in the first place, and resolving that behavior so they could find that forever home. And that's my goal in life, is to put every rescuer, every humane worker out of work and on the unemployment line. That's my goal in life.
That sounds fabulous. It's a wonderful goal.
It is. Anyway, listen, I thank your friends for adopting. I'm going to do this because just in case it might be a digestion thing, or just because it might be something nutritional, I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to send you a jar of my own Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement treats. By the way, only till Monday through December 23rd, if you go to my website, thepetshow.com, Hugs and Kisses are available at Amazon. They're available at Walmart. But on my website only, thepetshow.com, don't forget that and only till Monday, December 23rd, the Hugs and Kisses supplement at my website only, 20% off Hugs and Kisses at thepetshow.com. So check it out today. Let me take a quick break. When we come back, we have Tammy, Sue, Courtney. Got a couple of open lines now, 866-870 KRLA. We have a whole other hour to go. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. Call me 866-870 KRLA. We got a whole other hour to go. Here's the deal, Tammy. I got a break in a minute. I don't want to rush you. You got the cat throwing up hairballs. I want to cover that with you. We got Courtney in Huntington Beach with a Rhodesian Ridgeback, one of my favorite breeds that's jumping on people. We got Sue in Whittier with a sick cat. I don't want to rush you, so if I can just ask you to hold. We're just going to break for the top of the hour, just for a few minutes, a couple of minutes, and I'll get right to your calls after that. By the way, I have a whole other hour to go. Plenty of time to answer all of your pet and animal questions. Lots of great stuff to give away on this show as well. Some of the topics I'm still going to talk about. If you ever go outside and call your dog and it's cold outside and you want your dog to come in, it's 10, 11 o'clock at night, or for whatever reason you just can't get your dog to come. Fido, come, Rover, come. And he doesn't listen to you. Why is that? Why do so many dogs not listen to their guardians when the guardians call them? Well, you know what? It's not your dog's fault. It's your fault. That's right, it's your fault. Think about it. How many times have you called your dog to get a bath? How many times have you called your dog to get to the vet? How many times have you called your dog when he was playing outside and you brought him right inside? You made the word come into a bad word. Shame, shame on you. The only time you should use the word come is when it's a positive, when it's a good thing, when you can make sure you can get the dog to come. But otherwise, if you say to your dog, get over here, what did you do? Bad dog, phooey. Come on now, let's go, get in your crate, let's go to the vet. Why would the dog come to you? I don't understand it. You made the word come into a bad word. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break, then right back to your calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. Yes, you are listening to The Pet Show. If you have a question or comment about your dog or cat's behavior, whatever it may be, not using a litter box, jumping, humping, or maybe questions about the holidays, what can you do to help make sure your dog gets through the holidays, your cat gets through the holidays in a safe way. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. Everyone that calls in and gets to talk to me live today will get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. It's the holidays. I'm in a giveaway mood. I got hugs and kisses to give away, Lucy pet food, doggy lickies, copies of my dog or cat book, Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath, air horns, t-shirts, natural herbal flea spray, calming and recovery products from the good people over at Acorn Pet Products. Lots of great stuff to give away. Plenty of time to answer all of your pet and animal questions. So if you have a question or comment, give me a call. If you just want to talk about your pets and how to react during the holidays, that's good as well. I'll still send you a great gift. Or do you let your dogs and cats open their own gifts on Christmas morning? Give me a call. Let me know. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. Still coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about why cats stare at their guardians. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? We're also going to take a look at the do's and don'ts of training. We'll take plenty of time to go over all this stuff. Lots of great stuff to give away. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Let me take a couple of calls, and then I got to share some great info with you. Let's go to Tammy in L.A. Hi, Tammy. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Warren. Thanks for taking my call. And this is the first time I watched you on YouTube. You look so happy and so healthy. I'm so
yeah. Well, but what about my bad? What about my bad haircut? Come on.
It's not bad. It's not.
I went to a place. Listen, I went to a place called. I'm a barbershop kind of guy. And when I lived in New York, I went to Luigi's, okay? So I found a place called Boss Man's Barbershop in Arizona, and that's where I went. And they just clipped and clipped.
Well,
and clipped.
I like it.
I should have went to a dog groomer. That's what I should have done. I should have went to a dog groomer and got a poodle clip. That would have been. Anyway, what can I do for you, Tammy?
Well, my sweet little cat had started about 2 months ago throwing up her food that she had been eating for a couple of years. We had some problems with her urinary tract, and this food helped her. And then she started throwing it up all of a sudden. And so she would only eat her canned food, and I was worried that she was not getting enough nutrition. And I brought her in, and we did blood work, and it was normal. And the doctor checked her teeth to see if maybe her teeth were bothering her, and that's why she wasn't eating her food. And so he told me, brush her more. Maybe it's a stuck hairball or something like that. So I did that, and then she was still, she was not eating well, still throwing up, and she did seem to be shedding a lot more than usual. And I would brush her, I still am been brushing her and giving her like this hairball relief stuff. And then she threw up blood, and I rushed her back in, and they did an x-ray, and they didn't see anything, and he gave her some antibiotics, and I gave her more hairball relief stuff and the antibiotics, and she's not throwing up blood anymore. It was bright red, so he thought maybe it was because she had been throwing up previously.
Sure. If the blood was black or darker, then he'd be a lot more concerned. Sure.
Yeah, it was bright red, and she's still been throwing up and shedding, and I've been giving her. She's not losing weight. It seems like I am finding the hairball where she throws up. And then later she's able to eat, like another meal and keep that down after she throws up that hairball. I just don't understand why she's having so many hairballs. This has never happened before. I've had Maine Coons, long-haired cats. She's just a medium-haired cat. And
if your veterinarian is telling you that there's a clean bill of health, then here's a couple of tips I'm going to give you. Okay, 2 or 3 times during the day, take a damp washcloth and go against the cat's grain to take off any excessive hair that's there. The brushing's great and the brushing's super, but sometimes overbrushing can create more dandruff than it resolves. So I'm going to recommend you continue brushing, but also what I would recommend is just a damp washcloth a couple of times a day to take off any excessive hair that she may be licking. So let me ask you a big question, and please take this. You gave me a compliment, so I'm going to be easy with you. Is there any possibility that you're boring your cat?
I'm boring my cat.
When was the last time you brought something in for the cat new?
Last week. She's got a lot of
What'd you
toys,
bring her?
I
know, I know.
Play
Listen,
with something else. I let her play with it, whatever she wants to, and I also try to stimulate.
But listen, here's the deal. If you were to go into my garage, you would see every tool possible. Okay. However, send me to Home Depot or Lowe's, I'm buying a new tool. It's just the way it is. So even though a cat may have a lot of toys in their home, something new can make all the difference in the world. Now, it doesn't have to be a toy. Usually, if there's no physiological reason for the excessive grooming, it's compulsive behavior on the cat's part, which means the more we can stimulate the cat, the more we can resolve the issue. So you hear me talk every week about cardboard boxes, paper bags, organic catnip, and other plants. The reason I talk about these things, and I say this every week, is cats really thrive on comfort, but they also thrive on investigating what new comes into their environment, whether it be a cardboard box, a paper bag. So what my recommendation to you is stock up your garage with a bunch of cardboard boxes, hit Ralph's today, and paper bags, whatever. They smell really good now because of the Christmas stuff that's put in the bags and stuff. Bring those home, and then maybe take one box, put it on top of the other, make a little condo for her. Cut a hole in another box, leave them down for a day, then put new ones down. It sounds to me, if in fact your vet is giving you a clean bill of health and the cat is excessively grooming, the only other reason that would cause that would, number one, and your vet checked the teeth, would be anxiety, boredom, stress related. You sound like a pretty mellow person, so I don't think it's stress related. It sounds to me like the cat just needs a lot more mental stimulation, and that's where the boxes and the bags and the organic plants really come into play. Okay.
Warren, she's not excessively grooming though. She's not. I don't see her licking her fur a lot. And I'm with her all the time.
The first coming from somewhere. The first coming from somewhere. To have a hairball, you got to have hair.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
So it's coming from somewhere. You may not see her. So, in other words, I always joke that in some homes, a cat hair is a condiment because there's so much around that we don't see it. But that's one of the reasons I'm recommending the damp washcloth as well. The brushing, the damp washcloth, all of that will be really, but I think it sounds to me, and my cat book, by the way, is one of my favorite books. And, I wrote it for Random House years ago.
I love your
and there's
cat book.
a big
I love your cat book. I used your cat book because she was like wetting everywhere when I first got her.
But now go back to the cat book. Go back, and I want you to read the parts in terms of mental stimulation, building up confidence, rotating toys. It's all in there. So I want you to start reading that. I think that's really, really important in terms of getting her to change her behavior. Unless there's a veterinary issue that your vet is missing, the advice I just gave you will resolve your problem, and you will have no more hairballs in the house. Well, I wouldn't say no more. Have a lot less hairballs in the house.
Thank you, Warren. Thank you.
But Tammy, I love you. I love your call. You're like my typical listener, Warren. I don't see my cat. There's no hair. My cat's not licking hair. Where the hairballs coming from, Tammy? Come on now. From somewhere. They gotta come from somewhere. Anyway, you know what I'm going to do? Does your cat wear a collar by any chance?
Can I ask you one more question?
Sure, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, so when I have an event to go to, not a huge event, but just the house where I'm going has a lot of dogs, and they are just they bark and bark and bark every time that door is opened and anybody comes through. Now, I'm not going to change their behavior, but what can I do to be I try not to be threatening. I try not to give them too much attention because I think, well, maybe that's going to make them do this more, and they like that. So I try just to give attention to their owners, and when they come to me, I allow them to lick my hand, and
here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. You need to get leashes and collars for the owners, not the dogs. The owners need to train the dogs. So, but here's what I would do, okay? If I were in a situation, and, you know, I was joking about this last week, that there are people that invite you to their house, but you come to the house, I'm not coming in unless you put the dog away. I'm 100% against it. It's my dog's house. It's my cat's house. You want to come in, you're going to deal with that. What you may want to try is this. You might want to, in the trunk of your car, put some brand new, amazing toys. And you know what? I'm going to go back on that. I'm going to go back on that a little bit. You can do that. And this way, when you walk in the house, hand each dog a toy. This way, they're not focused on you. They're focused on the brand new toy. But I'm going to send you something different. I'm going to send you some doggy lickies from Lucy Pet. And here's why. Dogs love them. So when you walk into the house, give each dog a doggy licky. They'll focus on that. You walk in. At that point, they're already over the initial exuberance that you're there. That will help calm them down a little bit. So that's what I'm going to send you. I'm going to send you some doggy lickies for your friends' dogs. And thank you for going to their house anyway. I mean, it's amazing to me. I used to get invited to so many homes for Christmas when I lived on the East Coast. And you know, I lived there my whole life. And kind of interesting that I would go to the people's homes, and they said, we better not invite Warren. He's going to look at our dogs and see how badly trained they are. We better not invite Warren. He's going to evaluate our cat. No, when I go to someone's house, I don't look at the dog or cat. I evaluate their behavior because that tells me more about the dog or cat. Anyway, listen, don't go in. I'm going to put you on hold. The lovely Suzette's going to pick up, and I'm going to send you some doggy lickies so that you can have a safe trip. But try out what I recommended for your cat's hairballs as well. We're going to get you in a second. Courtney, you are so patient. Thank you. We will resolve your issue. I do have some open lines now, pretty rare. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA. I still have the copies of the dog book and the cat book to give away. I have some Rosie's mouth fresh breath for your dogs. It's an incredible product. It's available at Amazon. Rosie's puppy fresh breath. I got some of that to give away. I got calming discs to give away. I got hugs and kisses to give away for your dogs. Lucy Pet Food, doggy lickies I just gave away. Copies of my dog or cat book. I got some of those air horns. Just last night, I was taking Molly and Willie out. You know, I live in Arizona now, so I'm literally surrounded by coyotes. And I love the coyotes, but I love Molly and Willie a little bit more. So whenever I take them for a walk, I always have an air horn with me. I have those little air horns. They're available on my website, but I'll be giving some of those away as well. So if you have a question or a comment about your dog or cat, great time to give me a call. Again, that number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. A quick break, then right back to your phone calls. 866-870-575. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752 on this. Just a reminder again that the Hugs and Kisses supplements, they're available at Amazon.com as always and Walmart.com. But if you go to my website directly, only until Monday, and you order the Hugs and Kisses at thepetshow.com, don't forget thepetshow.com. If you go there between now and Monday, you get 20% off Hugs and Kisses. So if you're thinking about trying Hugs and Kisses for your dogs, now's the time. Just check out thepetshow.com. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let's go to my friend Courtney. Hi, Courtney. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for being so patient. Thank you for being so patient, Courtney. I really appreciate it.
Well, you were entertaining me while I was waiting, so it was no problem.
What can I do for you?
I have a 100-pound Rhodesian Ridgeback, a male, and we went through obedience training with him when he was a puppy, and he's pretty well trained, except for when guests arrive to our home, he does jump on them pretty consistently, and, you know, no one likes having a 100-pound set of paws on their chest.
And a lot of people don't realize a lot of people are afraid of Ridgebacks anyway because of the hair on their back. They think their hackles are standing up. They don't realize it's part of the breed. A great breed of dog, by the way, the Ridgeback. A really wonderful breed of dog. Now, in terms of jumping, there's lots of reasons that dogs will jump up. Number one, very often they want to make eye contact with someone. But now you said something to me early on. You had the dog or you trained the dog when the dog was younger. If you read a book when you're 5 years old and don't read another book until you're 14 years old, the reading skills are not going to be the same. So what often happens when we have a dog that we've trained as a younger dog or a puppy, and some of the behaviors we tried to resolve are now cropping up, the best thing you can do is go back to basics. Now, there are behaviorists and trainers, and I used to do this myself, which recommend ways to correct the dog for jumping. But I've come to the conclusion after all the years I've been doing this, that by spending the time giving the dog attention, whether it's good or bad attention, it's still attention. So here's my recommendation. Number one is if you know people are coming over, spend 15 minutes, an hour or so before they come over, really solidifying the basic training. The dog's not jumping to be bad. He's jumping because he's excited. It would be like telling him no. If you have a kid telling him no, don't go hug that person. That's why the dog's jumping and wants to greet that person. So what you want to do is not focus on the no. You want to take the time to reinforce the behavior that you've educated the dog with, so you can say sit or stay or down or stay. That's one of the ways to do it. The other way to do it also is before people come over, have one special item by the front door that he only gets when people come over. So immediately when they walk in, he gets that item. It's there for 5 minutes. You take it away. He's over the initial excitement, and the jumping will stop. All these stories you hear about, taking your knee and raising it into the dog's chest, or some trainers recommend horrible things like stepping on their back feet or yelling at them or putting spike. No, that's not why the dog is jumping. He's jumping because he's excited. He's jumping because he's enthusiastic about seeing someone. Why would you tell him no? Use your positives. Go back to your basic training. And what I would recommend that you do is, if you have close friends or relatives you can work with, I would have them come over a couple of times a week and just practice with the basic training with the dog as they're coming into the house. That is the real way to resolve the problem. Now, I can give you cures, but they're just temporary. It may stop once, may stop twice. Then you'll call me back in 6 months, say he's doing the same thing all over again. So here's what I want you to do. Number one is about 20 minutes or a half hour and out before people come over, go to your basic training. Then when they come over, have the leash and harness on the dog, go through some of the basics when they come in, or use that special item, and that'll resolve the issue for you, rather than all this nonsense about yelling and screaming at the dog. And I mean this seriously. I'm so tired of trainers and behaviors telling people how to correct their dog without taking the time to figure out why the dog is doing it. And I mean this seriously. Doesn't this make sense to you? How would you feel if someone came to your home and you went to hug them and someone yelled at you, "No, don't do that. No, go up." How would you feel? Not good, right? That's how your dog's going to feel, and it's going to encourage him to do it more. Go back to basics. That's the resolution. That sound legitimate to you, Courtney?
Yeah, it's fascinating because I know, other people have told me he's just trying to greet. It's not malicious, but it's still jarring to people. So I like that idea of putting the toy by the door and going back to basics before guests arrive.
Or even better than that, if you can leave the toy outside and have the person coming over give the dog the toy, that even works better.
Okay, good idea. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you. First of all, is this the first Ridgeback you've ever lived with?
Yes, I've wanted one forever and finally got one. And he is a big sap of love. He is the best.
They are made. The first Ridgeback I ever trained belonged to a lady named Lori Collins. This is going back when Ridgebacks were very, very rare. She was a trainer many years ago. She trained horses on the East Coast for many years, but didn't know anything about dogs. And I'm not great with horses, but great with dogs. So we kind of swapped a little bit. But just amazing breed of dog. And people don't understand them. And back then, because it was such a rare breed, people would see a Rhodesian Ridgeback and they crossed the street thinking, the dog's mean, he's mean, look, his hair's up on his back, not understanding that that's part of the breed. And that's part of what they're all about. What's your dog's name, by the way?
I call it his Mohawk.
His Mohawk. There you go.
My husband named him Bruno, after Bruno Mars.
Bruno. So your husband's a Bruno Mars fan?
Yes, he is.
I was going to ask who Bruno Mars is, but I didn't want to sound stupid. Anyway, Courtney, don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm also going to, I'm going to send you. I am going to send you. You know what? I'm going to send you one of these. This is an item that I've been talking about only for the last, month or so. It's made by a company called Acorn Pet Products. And what they do is they make calming products for pets. So I'm going to send you some, it's a little disc. You can put it right in their collar. It may help with the situation as well. On its way to you. Suzette, there's a calming collar by Acorn Pets. That's what we're sending to Courtney. Give that pup a hug and a kiss, and I promise you he'll stop jumping in no time at all. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. Excuse me. 866-870-5752. Sue, we're going to get to you in a minute. Sue. We got a Sue in Santa Ana, and we have a Sue in Whittier. We have an open line or two, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. You may have wondered why your cat stares at you. Staring is considered rude in the human world. But staring can convey different messages in the cat world. A staring cat can be a sign of asking for attention, seeking food, or a warning that your cat needs a space, signaling fear. So it's okay for cats to stare. You just try to understand why they are staring. I wrote this, and I'm going to put this up on my YouTube channel. By the way, check out YouTube, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Subscribe. It's free. I do share a lot of info there. youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Sue and Sue number 1 and Sue number 2. I got to take a break. I'll get to your calls right after this. Got some great stuff for you as well. Again, the number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Also, when we come back, just before I get to Sue and Sue, I am going to read this poem. I do it every year. I want to make sure I have time. It's called Christmas Returns. I read it every year. I cry every year. You're going to cry every year, but it really makes an impact of what I believe. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll get right back to your phone calls, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5750. Speaking of Sue, I'm definitely going to get to you in a couple of minutes, but bear with me. I got a great gift for you. Don't go anywhere. I'll get your cats to get along. But before we do that, 2 things I want to mention. Number 1, I'm going to read a poem to you. Okay. It's a poem I read every year. It's called Christmas Returns. By the way, this poem and literally dozens and dozens of poems like this are available. If you go to my website, thepetshow.com, check out the Christmas Corner. Just click on the front page of thepetshow.com. 23 of my favorite holiday songs, great poems like the one I'm going to read, A Rescue Dog's Christmas, A Greyhound Christmas, there's so many more. Get in the holiday spirit with your pets at thepetshow.com. That's my personal website. And when you're there, check out the Christmas Corner. The poem I'm going to read a poem, then I'm going to get to you, Sue. I'm going to read this poem now. This is one of the poems there. It brings tears to my eyes every time I read it because I hear it so often, or have heard it so often over the years. It's called A Christmas Return. Bear with me here. I'm not the greatest poetry reader. Santa comes quietly long before dawn, while shops are still busy and lights are still on. While dinners are cooking and kitchens are warm, and children count presents till open by morn. He slips past the trees and windows aglow, through the gate to the backyard as icy winds blow, to find the pup he brought last year, chained up in the snow. And kneeling he whispers, "Are you ready to go?" There are too many stops like this one tonight before the beginning of his regular flight. He leaves not a note or a footprint in sight, just an unbuckled collar on a cold Christmas night. My favorite poem, really, and so many times. You know, people would say to me, Warren, you know, years ago, should I get a dog? Should I give a dog or a cat for Christmas? And I had mixed emotions, okay? If you know someone who wants a specific puppy or a kitten and you want to give it for the holidays, that's up to you, but not for the holidays. Give them a copy of my book. Put a bag of dog food under the tree. This is not the time of year to start with a new puppy or a kitten, unless it's a rescue dog. That's a whole different thing. If you're rescuing a dog or rescuing a cat, I don't care if it's Christmas Eve or Christmas morning, do it. But in terms of anticipating someone's asking for a gift, give them a copy of the book. Put a leash and collar, a bird cage, whatever type of pet they're interested in under the tree. This is not the safest time to bring a new pet into the household. Just some thoughts on my part. Again, that poem and all the poems you hear me talk about, check out the Christmas Corner at thepetshow.com, thepetshow.com. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let's go to my friend Sue in Santa Ana. Hi, Sue. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes. I have a problem with, I've inherited 2 cats, and I have a cat, and I have a dog. So I need to know how to introduce the cats to my cat. And they're all around 9 years old. So.
Okay, now tell me about the cats that you're bringing into your house now.
Well, I have one cat that's already there, and I'm bringing in 2. And it's a mother and a son. And she was a stray and was taken in pregnant, and so that's where this kitten comes from. But anyway, so we have the 2 cats, and they're. But
where are the 2 cats coming? Where are the 2 cats coming from? Where are they now, or where were they before you got them?
They're in the house where a person died. Okay, an older man.
I'm so sorry.
So they're coming to live with me. Okay, so and they've known me, all my life, so all their life, excuse me. Anyway, so I'm familiar with them, but they're very shy. She was a stray, and so she's hides a lot and things like that.
Do you have access? Do you have access to the apartment or house where the gentleman lived?
Yes, every day. Yeah.
Okay. Make sure you bring some of the cat's items to your home.
Okay.
And I would do. When are you anticipating bringing the cats to your house?
The house is going up for sale about the second week of January.
Okay, so we have a little bit of time. You're over there every day, and bless you for taking care of them. You're a very, very special person, I can tell. So what I would recommend doing is getting your cat used to the smell of these cats, and these cats used to the smell of your cat. So we're going to do some scent swapping here. Now, generally speaking, scent swapping really works good enough. You can use a washcloth, but I'm going to recommend that you go out and buy a couple of small stuffed animals. And what I would do, and this is going to sound eccentric to people, but it does make all the difference in the world. Give these cats the names. Name one your cat, name two, and swap the scent. Get them used to your cat's scent. Get your cat used to their scent by rubbing these stuffed animals on those two cats, bringing them to your house, and your cat bringing it to their house. Then before you make the transition, a couple of days, I want you to bring over whatever beds they have, whatever litter boxes they have, not necessarily clean litter boxes, over to your house at this point, whatever toys they have, wherever they hung out, whatever you can bring that makes them feel more comfortable. And then once you bring them into the house, you're going to want to probably keep them in a separate room just for a day or two. You can let them, if they have a screen or somewhere you can put up a gate, your cat and your dog can get used to them. You're going to be fine. It's just going to be a matter of time. This may sound, again, crazy to people. There are some times that I believe, I want to get into it, but, if it wasn't for dogs, my life, I wouldn't be here with you. They've saved my life at least 2 times that I'm sure of in my life. And it's really important to give them the opportunity, the dog the opportunity, and the cats the opportunity to adjust. There are some people like my mother. My mother could bring a rhino into the house and would get along with everyone. However, that's not always the case. So again, very gradually introduce them. What I would do is if you have someone else in the house, maybe you can have one person holding his 2 cats and you holding yours, sitting on opposite sides. Little by little, using that first pet psychology should make all the difference in the world. Now, the fact that your dog has already grown up with a cat, that's really helpful in terms of resolving the issue.
But I've kept the dog and cat separated because our cat had a kind of an anxiety issue early on as a kitten. So your
dog and cat are not bonded that well.
No, well, they see each other through a door and kind of attack each other. The cat usually attacks the dog.
It's always the way it is. Those cats are pretty tough, Yes, but again, it's real important to understand this is not going to happen overnight. I know you were caught in a situation, when you have friends or family that gets older and they cross over, and that's why I wish everyone would have a living trust for their dogs or cats. So when it does, but the guy who passed away, he couldn't have been luckier to have someone like you. I mean, literally, he could not have been luckier or more blessed to have someone like you that's going to take in these cats. If you follow my advice little by little, they will get along, but I can give you a lot more advice once they're there. So I want you to get them there, follow the advice, then give me a call back and we'll even go a little bit further. How's that sound?
Okay, that sounds terrific. But just
in the meantime,
when I first bring them over.
Yeah, just for a little bit. In the meantime, Sarah, I'm going to send you a copy of the cat book. I think it's going to make you feel a little bit more comfortable in terms of that first pet psychology. Now, the cat book may not arrive for a couple of weeks. It's Christmas. FedEx is on strike, so I heard. What you can do is you can go to my website, thepetshow.com or YouTube, and there's some great articles there on first pet psychology. But in the meantime, I'm going to put you on hold. The lovely Suzette's going to pick up. Suzette, let's send Sue a copy of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. Sue is exactly why I've been doing this show for 45 years. You, my audience, you, my listeners, are the most amazing people in the whole wide world. Not only from helping animals, but you just recently heard my friend Larry Marino talking about sending stuff for our troops. As a veteran myself, who was away during the holidays, we know how difficult that is. Now, I was in Germany during Christmas, and I was the only Jewish person in my group of soldiers. And so I volunteered to work on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day so they can have the time off. It was Christmas Eve. I'm sitting in a truck. That's where I was stationed, in a truck with the dogs right there in just outside of Frankfurt, Germany. freezing cold, and I hear a deuce and a half, it's a 2.5 ton truck, pull up, and I hear a knock, 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 knock on the truck I was in. I look outside, it's my first sergeant and a couple of the people that I was stationed with. And there they were, Christmas Eve, bringing me this incredible, incredible dinner just to thank me for working for them on the Christmas holiday. So as a veteran, let me tell you, when they receive a package, even if it's a Hershey bar, it reminds them of home and it makes all the difference. So donate. I want you to go to 833 the number 2 and troops. 833 the number 2 and troops. Donate what you can. I'm telling you, to a veteran, a soldier, as a veteran, to a soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, Coast Guard working or away from home, a little package can make all the difference in the world during the holiday season. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870. Quick break, then we'll get right back to your calls, and I got some real good information to share with you guys. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I love Dominic the Donkey. We are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. The number 866-870-KRLA. I don't think I'm going to take any more calls today. I think I'm going to share some information I'd like to share towards the end of the year that I never get to share with you guys. I want to spend a couple of minutes talking about the do's and don'ts of dog behavior training. We don't often get to go into it in detail based on the fact that I'm usually answering a lot of calls. But let me share this with you. There's a couple of really important things I want to share as we get towards the end of 2024 and start 2025. When it comes to dog behavior, and this is something I wrote, put it up on my YouTube this week. When it comes to dog behavior training, the most important thing to remember is that punishment doesn't work. Punishment doesn't work. In fact, in most cases, the dog will not understand what he or she is being punished for. He will simply try to hide the behavior, and your problem will continue. Changing dog behavior problems isn't quick and isn't easy, as some people will have you think. It can take weeks or months, or in some cases, I've worked with dogs over a year. Training to which the most important thing to remember is that any attention rewards your dog. Good attention, bad attention. Any attention rewards your dog. So the bottom line is this. When working with your dog, the key to dog behavior training is not allowing your dog to be rewarded for bad behavior. The reward is for good behavior, not for bad behavior. And very often, by yelling or screaming at the dog, what we're doing, even though it's negative attention, we're paying attention to the bad behavior, encouraging the dog to respond that way even more. I'll give you a prime example. Something else I was working on this week. I opened the show by talking, why is it so hard to get your dog to come? Do you ever wonder why your dog is not thrilled when you call them? It is more than likely your fault. I will tell you that you have made the word come into a bad, bad word for your dog. Think about this. Think about this. You call your dog to put him in the crate. You call your dog to take him to the vet. Your dog's having a ball in the backyard, you call him into the house. You call your dog to take a bath. Doesn't want to. So you're associating, or the dog's associating bad things with the word come. The word come should only be used for positive. Calling your dog when you want to feed him, calling your dog when you want to play with him, calling your dog when you want to hug him, calling your dog when you'll kiss him, calling your dog when you want to smooch him. You shouldn't be calling your dog to correct them. How many times have I heard, get over here, what did you do? That's one of the big mistakes people make. Is let's say their dog is misbehaving in the backyard or in the house. They'll say to their dog, get over here, what did you do? And the dog comes and they yell at the dog. Well, if my father called me and then yelled at me, I'm not coming so quickly the next time either. These are things that I wish more trainers and behaviorists would understand. Or maybe they're not getting enough time outside to play, not enough time outside to get rid of some of that excessive energy. And you're calling your dog into the home way too soon. Or let's say you're calling your dog, hey, listen, you want some medication? Who wants medication? Come here, I'm going to give you a pill. Molly is taking medication. One of my dogs, Molly, is taking medication right now. I don't call Molly to me to give her the medication. I go to Molly to give her the medication. If I want to give her a treat or a toy or a hug or a kiss, then I'll call her to me. One of the biggest mistakes people make is calling their dog to correct them. And also another mistake they make is using the dog's name for negative. So let's say your dog's name is Joe, and you said, Joe, get over here, or Joe, come. and they start associating negative things with their name, it's going to make it a lot more difficult. Now, I wish I had hours to spend with you guys to talk about behavior, but this is just another thing that I've been working with for years and years and years. Educating people. When you want a dog to respond, you have to make it positive. And if you're going to correct the dog, you go to the dog to correct them. You don't call the dog to you to correct the dog. Unbelievable. People still do that. Hope that helps you out a little bit. Hopefully this year and on my YouTube channel, I'll have more time to go over some of my specifics. I've been working with animals my entire life, and my experience in Europe, training with some of the top behaviorists in the world, and even though I didn't agree with a lot of their stuff, I did learn a lot from these people. So have a lot to share, and hopefully this year we'll share an awful lot. By the way, I will be live next Saturday as well. I don't take off time. You guys need help, I will be there. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. Check out couple of things. Check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. I do share a lot of stuff there. Let me take a quick break, then we'll try to get back with some more calls. Listen. Our dog that as soon as I get off the air here, I do my National Canadian Armed Forces radio show. Let me give you that phone number in case you're out there driving around shopping, you didn't get the call. The number for the network show, which starts in exactly 2 minutes, is 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. In the last 30 seconds I have, let me just take this opportunity to wish everyone a very healthy and happy Hanukkah, a very Merry Christmas to all of you. Make it safe, make it happy. Don't forget your dogs and cats. They're part of the family. Know where they are. Keep them safe. Give them all a big hug and a kiss for you. One right between the ears for me. I'm Warren Eckstein. And thank you once again, another year, for listening to The Pet Show.